The case of R versus Prince established a significant and enduring legal principle regarding the limits of the mistake of fact defense in criminal law. It clarified that when a statute is designed for the protection of a specific class of people, like minors, an offender acts at their own peril as to the victim's status, and an honest and reasonable belief about that status, such as the victim's age, will not excuse liability. Hello and welcome to Case Laws Simplified. Buckle up as we explore the fascinating world of R v Prince together. Here is a breakdown of the case. Henry Prince was charged under Section 55 of the Offences Against the Person Act 1861 for unlawfully taking a 14-year-old girl, Annie Phillips, out of the possession and against the will of her father. At trial, the jury found that Annie had told Prince she was 18, and he had reasonable grounds to believe her. Prince appealed his conviction, arguing that his honest and reasonable mistake about her age should be a defense. The Court for Crown Cases reserved, by a large majority, upheld Prince's conviction. The court held that his genuine and reasonable belief that the girl was over 16 was not a valid defense. The majority's reasoning in R versus Prince established a key principle about criminal intent, mens rea, strict liability as to age. The court determined that for this particular offense, the law did not require the prosecution to prove that the defendant knew the girl was under 16. The very act of taking an unmarried girl from her father's possession was considered wrong in itself. By engaging in such conduct, the taker assumed the risk that the girl might be under the statutory age of protection. Public policy and protection of minors. The primary rationale was the protection of minors. The court emphasized that the law's purpose was to safeguard young girls from abduction and exploitation. If a reasonable mistake about age were a defense, it would severely undermine this protection, as it would be too easy for offenders to claim they believed the girl was older. The powerful dissent. It is important to note that the decision was not unanimous. Justice Brett dissented, arguing a principle that would later gain significant traction. He contended that criminal guilt should require a criminal mind, mens rea, for all elements of the offense. In his view, if a person made an honest and reasonable mistake about a fact, like age, that, if true, would have made their actions lawful, they should not be convicted. R versus Prince remains a foundational case in criminal law, frequently cited to illustrate the concept of constructive strict liability, or liability for moral wrongs. The case continues to frame the debate in criminal law between the demands of justice in individual cases, the dissent's view, and the need for effective, blanket protection for vulnerable groups, the majority's view. Finally, the fundamental question it raises, whether a person should be punished for a reasonable and honest mistake, is central to understanding the complex relationship between actus reus, the guilty act, and mens rea, the guilty mind. Thanks for watching.